January 16th. Case assignment number Alpha 917624. I feel like I've been chasing a ghost for weeks. A regular John Doe. An enigma with a name. Alex Ivesul. I'm surrounded by little reminders. The notes, the eyewitness statements from family, friends, and neighbors. The personality profile, the medical history. The work resume, the academic career. Pages and pages and pages of dead ends. All over my desk. It's enough to hire an assistant. Now, I've never believed that people just disappeared. My colleagues pull this card when they've had enough. The family is assured that countless hours were spent and unlimited manpower was exhausted attempting to find the individual. In some cases, the ones with high news potential, that is absolutely true. They have spent plenty of hours and money. Still, they came up short. It all looks good on paper, though. The paper. Front page, name in lights. Suddenly, a promotion isn't that far off. People just disappear. I didn't believe it until this case. Alex Ivesul. See, we look for trends when searching for people. Places they went, people they saw, things they did. Habits always say more than a wife or a brother or a friend ever could. And first thing I noticed about him was the lengthy list of addresses. Started out here in Florida. He was born and raised near Cape Canaveral, and then he jumped to Georgia. Seems reasonable enough at first. Maybe he had an itch, needed to change the scenery. Not long after, he started moving throughout Georgia, holding simple jobs, never staying more than several months. Alex made strides to states further north, Virginia, Ohio. Eventually he went west, as so many seem to do. South Dakota, Colorado, made it to New Mexico, and his trail disappears. No trace of him anywhere. The rock hopper. That's what they call him in the office. How's the hunt for the rock hopper going? Yeah, I heard it so much, that's what I nicknamed the case, the rock hopper. People just disappear. Last place he was seen, some discount motel in Santa Fe. Owner remembered him perfectly, description was dead on, except he said that Alex looked disturbed and rushed. That boy looked like he had somewhere to be today and he had to be there yesterday. No checkout or nothing, stuff's still here, said the owner. When we got around to questioning the family and those who knew him, Alex was described as nervous, awkward, and paranoid. Oh, the doctors would probably have a field day with a diagnosis. He wasn't always like that, as the family said. Apparently, just before he started moving, he began talking about being watched. Each state that he went to, he kept moving, because he was convinced of one thing: someone was watching. Now, crazy talk is all I took it to be. So it didn't seem so strange. Guy was off the edge. Probably wore a tinfoil hat. Was it bizarre? Sure. Was it worse than anything I dealt with before? Oh, not at all. Yeah, a guy in a bar, drunk to the point that the counter was his crutch, asked me once, "What's the most fucked up case you worked on?" Now, I'd already put a few away myself, and my sense of discretion, well, didn't exist at that point. So I told him about case Omega 517987, one of the first I had ever been involved in. Now, this distraught husband, and I mean textbook distraught, couldn't find his wife. Filed an NPR, and wasted no time in getting our help. This case led us on a wild goose chase. For weeks, countless hours, unlimited manpower. We searched until we hit the dead end, where her trail just stopped. So, I decided to go back, start from scratch. I searched the newspapers for unknown bodies that turned up. I read over everything the husband told us. I read those sworn statements no less than 50 times. All the while, the easy way out, the excuse, it loomed. People just disappeared. And then a phrase jumped out at me as I was giving a final read-through of the husband's statement. Last place I saw her was the laundry room. And he went on to say how he found the back door open. It was connected to the laundry room, and he swore she had been abducted, but it didn't feel right. That line, it just didn't feel right. So I convinced the chief for a search. Probable cause for falsification of testimony. The warrant is in my hands. The husband was asleep on the couch when we got there, still dressed in the same clothes he was wearing the day he spoke. That was weeks prior. He didn't even seem to notice that the one thing that knocked us back, no guns blazing, nothing like that, the thing that stopped us. You couldn't see it, but oh, you could smell it. Before we even got close to that laundry room, the smell was terrible. And then it got worse, much worse. In the dryer was the horribly decomposed body of a woman, stuffed in with the clothes she had just washed. She'd been there the whole time. In the dryer, hidden in plain sight. A regular Jane Doe. An enigma with a name. Husband was arrested, taken in. The docs had their usual field day with the diagnosis. They said he had schizophrenia. Ooh, big surprise there. And dissociative identity disorder. What used to be called multiple personality disorder. Dead wife, crazy husband, case closed. If only were that simple. What happened? I asked myself. How was this overlooked? All because I took the husband's word without question. Didn't see any reason to doubt him. First true lesson I learned, trust habits, not people. Habits always say more than a husband ever could. Yeah, we look for trends when searching for people. Now Alex's trail had vanished, so I did the only thing I knew. I went back, searched the papers while waiting for their magic phrase, unknown male body discovered in Santa Fe. Mystery man dredged from canal in Albuquerque. Police baffled by mutilated body in Roswell. Read through the statements. The only trend that Alex had was moving, and that's hardly a helpful habit. There was one trend that I noticed, though. It was in the papers. Every paper I checked, in each of the cities or towns that Alex was reported to be in. Well, it's ridiculous, but I've run out of leads, I'm empty on ideas, and I'm burned out, and probably the reason I'm recording this. Every city that Alex was in, every single one, they all had reports. Reports of sightings, strange lights, weird objects in the sky. Well, I first noticed the stories when I came to the local pages. UFO above Valdosta. Coming from a town like that, hell, I thought nothing of it until I stumbled across the exact same thing in another city. Disc-shaped object, frantic lights, craft vanishes. One article mentioned video footage going viral. I found it on the internet and watched it. Nothing special. Someone with a lot of time in their hands put up a pretty well-made video of some sort of ship hovering above buildings before taking off. But then, more videos hit the internet, all coinciding with the reports of sightings in the paper. For each city that Alex was thought to be in, I found a news article about a UFO sighting. For each report, I found a video of the sighting. See, we look for trends when searching for people. Cities, sightings, stories, videos. This was a trend! Yes! And there was one more. In every video you saw, in each of the stories, it all said the same thing. The magic phrase, moving light coming from craft. In each lousy, flea-infested motel state that Alex had been in, there were reports and news articles of unidentified flying objects. With each story comes amateur footage of a hovering craft. From these crafts, a moving light is seen just before it disappears. Alex moves, and the stories move with Alex. So you can look for trends when searching for people. So these trends lead me to believe that the crafts are looking for someone, that the moving lights are searchlights, that Alex is who they are looking for. And they found him. Or maybe people just disappeared.